there. Good evening. We are Christy and Kristen with KidCasts and Mommy Talk. And we're so glad that you are joining us this evening. We have a very full hour talking all about mommy issues. We had a lot of fun last week and we talked about some serious issues.
Yes, we did.
So we would encourage you to grab your beverage of choice and kick back on your couch, even if your kids are all over top of you, and enjoy the hour with us. And we ask that you please message us.
Yeah, comment in because we can get your comments, and we will be able to respond to you that way.
We really like for this to be an interactive hour.
Yes.
You're kind of our friends.
Yes.
Because we don't get out much.
Yeah. So, did you want to say a little bit more about introduction? Okay. So we'll go ahead and start off with kind of why we do this is like a mom empowerment thing, like a time for moms to kind of get together, come together, and we can talk about weight loss. We have so many different topics that we can come we can come here and talk about. You can message us with issues that you're having. She has 7 children, and I have 1. I'm a first-time mommy. I have a 2-year-old daughter.
Okay.
And so we have, and I'm a nurse, so we have like different outlooks and views on things, but everything that is facing us, all these issues that we have are very important and near and dear to our hearts, and we just want to be there for you, and we want to do this all together. And some of the things that we talked about last week, just to recap, were just the weight loss and the different tips on how to eat right, and exercising a little bit and stuff like that. And we have a fun little thing that Christy does when she challenges me to do something. And last week it was dancing a 50s dance, and I had no clue what was going on, but I did it. You know, just
something
fun
else
things.
tonight.
She's got something else playing for me. I have no idea.
You keep talking because I forgot to get my props, so
okay.
I'm just gonna slip
Did you want to read your thing about the?
No, you
okay.
go ahead with the exercise.
Okay,
and
all right.
that
So,
good stuff.
all right, I'll go ahead and talk then. So, we talked, last week about weight loss, and I had shared that I had gained 30 pounds, and I was, I had hurt myself, and I was on different medications, and I was trying to lose that weight. And it's very important that we don't put each other down for our weight, that we come together and we try to support each other. So I have a success. We have, accomplishments and fails, that we, from last week that we want to discuss. And we had a plank challenge, which I didn't do so well on. Christy did, but I didn't do so well on. But the intermittent fasting, where we don't eat from 8 p.m. until 10 a.m., I actually did that, and I have got to tell you, it worked. I have been floating in this weight range for quite some time. And just in a week of doing that, don't eat past 8 p.m., and don't eat till the next day after 10 a.m., I'm in the lower, how do you say that without telling what Molly is? Okay.
Range.
Yeah. So you know how like if it's a 1 and then let's just say another number and then another number. Like let's say the second number. The second number. We'll say it's a 2, the second number. But this week I'm in the 1s. No, not really. But I'm down the whole 10 group. I don't even know what to call it. It's not decibels, it's sound. But, like, I'll just put it out there because you can probably tell. All right, so I've been floating in the 180s, okay, for a long time. And I'm finally in the 170s. And this was just from the intermittent fasting. And I try to make better choices, yes. But I think, and it's going to be a slow thing, but I think overall that this is really going to work for me, and I'm super excited about it. So, does anybody have? Right? No, it's not. You just quit eating. Like I put something in my mouth last night at 8:30, and I was like, "Oh my goodness, take it out," because you have to. And I spit it out, and I rinse my mouth with water, because you don't need that, because then it restarts it. Right. Restarts the fasting process that your body is doing to restore and to burn all that fat.
Right, and you're not just losing weight, you're actually getting healthier because you get all the benefits of fasting, and there are just numerous benefits of fasting while you're losing weight. And then I think what it does is it just cuts a whole lot of calories out of your day, and it allows your body to rest and heal.
Right.
So that's
great.
Fantastic. So,
Yeah.
So we are not eating between 8 p.m.
Yes.
and 10 a.m. Now you all, of course, can do whatever you want.
You can do what you want and let us know what works. And if you want to do this with us, that's great. And I was talking about the plank challenge. If you've been doing it, I said, you've been doing it. I did not do it. I messed up. I did not do it.
Yeah, but you've been doing the fasting.
I'm
and
doing fasting.
Like adding one thing a week is huge. I mean, sometimes it's really hard to add two things at once. You can focus on one thing. So maybe starting first thing in the morning when you roll out of bed, before you come, oh no, you're going to the doctor.
Yeah.
Just get on the floor and plank for 20 seconds.
I'm doing it.
We can do it.
Yeah, I can do it.
I have to say that I started last week, and I am feeling significantly stronger. So
really?
I am.
Okay, good.
It's a lot easier to plank now. So I will post again the plank challenge. I'm going to post it in the comments. So if you guys want to join us and just add one thing to your routine so that you're feeling stronger, I actually put our someplace. I've got some benefits of planking. It's core strength and burning fat, flexibility. You would think that just like sitting in one position doesn't do much, but boy, does it.
Yeah, reducing back pain, flexibility, improving your mood. That was a big thing we talked about.
A
So we definitely need that.
belly. I've had 7 kids. When I do this, like I have this big handful of skin that hangs down.
Oh my goodness.
But that's fine because it's
fine. Come on. Yeah. Look at you, please.
It's hard. I want to be fit too because I've got back pain, you know?
Yeah, this is true. Definitely something real quick. I'm going to do like a little teeny segment, hot topics each week, okay?
Okay.
And my hot topic this week, something that I just heard on the news last night, which is so crazy, that people can steal your children's credit when they're under 18. They can get in and get a hold of all their information, social security number, and they can steal their credit and use it for years, and you would never even find out. So what you can do is you can check their credit, and you can freeze their credit until, a later age, 17 or 18, whenever you want to unfreeze it. But you can actually freeze it. You just go to, for North Carolina, it's NC Department of Justice, DOJ, ncdoj.gov, but whatever your state is, doj.gov. So you can freeze your children's credit. And again, we just want to remind you that this is Mommy Talk. Christy and Kristen on KidCast. We're live coming at you every week, Thursday night at 8:30 p.m.
Yep. So like our page, like KidCasts, and then you'll get more updates, and we can communicate with you a little bit more. And on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, we do crafting with kids.
Yes.
It's loud and it's crazy, and we always make really fun things, and the kids always have a good time. So,
yes. And you can check out those videos on the KidCast page.
That's right. So if you go to www.facebook.com/kidcasts, and you can find our stuff. So what should we do next?
That's right. Did you want to read your thing?
I do. So I always like to do a little encouraging. I hope you can still see my face over this. We had technical difficulties again today, and this time it was the printer.
Oh, so, Melissa says, good evening, ladies. Good evening, Melissa.
Hi, Melissa.
Happy to have you with us again.
Yeah, I know. We're covering some topics that we hope you're interested in.
Yes. Actually, we could just run down those topics just real quick. So we want to talk about heat safety. We are going to also talk about bullying.
That's right.
Children shoplifting. And we're going to talk about something that happened with Christy this week. Okay? Okay. No, just the thing with the...
No, I pull one over on you.
Yeah, I know.
Not that way around now.
Yeah, no, I'll let you explain that. But yeah, those are our main topics, and we want to have fun. And at the end, Christy's going to do something crazy to me to make y'all laugh.
I'm not doing it to her. She's going to do it to herself.
Yeah.
Great.
I just have no idea what I'm doing to myself.
This is not as bad as it could be.
Right.
So, I mean, I didn't have as much time to think this time. Next time, I've got a whole week now.
Okay.
All right. So I came across this article that I thought was really, really pertinent to moms, maybe to people in general, and possibly to dads, but I think it's something that just really tears at moms' hearts. So I'm actually going to sit here and I'm going to read the whole thing. It's not too long. This is from mom.me, www.mom.me. It's called "The Only Thing I Didn't Give My Kids Is the One Thing They Needed the Most," by Shawnee Bruzy June. I don't know how to say her name. Right there.
Oh my, it's Bruzy. It's the date is June. Bruzy June. The date is June. That was good. Woo! And we'll make you laugh. That was good. Okay, go ahead. Too funny.
So before I read, it's been a long day for me.
Yeah.
It's been a long day for Kristen. My guess is it's
Long
been a
day
long
for
day for you guys too, ladies.
Too
All right.
funny. You can do this.
Stop it. Last night, after I had collapsed into bed after an especially grueling week of sick children, ever heard of hand, foot, and mouth disease? If not, then good for you, and I hope you keep it that way, because open sores on your toddler's throat are never a good time. Our kids have both had that. It hit me that my oldest daughter's childhood is coming to a close. At 8 years old, I'm not sure what she's thinking about that 8-year-old thing, but at 8 years old, she's rounding the corner on double digits, and then incredibly, in the same time that we've known her, she will be heading off to college. Such a thing seems unthinkable, really, and the mere realization of it sent me into one of those panics that moms get at night when they really need to sleep but can't seem to do it. It hit me all at once, how her childhood had essentially flown by, and I'm just not sure that I did a good enough job. You see, if we're being honest here, just between us parents, I made a lot of typical first-time parent mistakes, but mostly I feel like I struggled with never feeling like I was enough. I wasn't good enough, or fun enough, or financially stable enough. I wasn't imaginative enough, or magical enough, or involved enough. I didn't have it all enough, or set an example enough, or ever do enough. I feel like I focused the majority of my introduction as a parent generally feeling like I was constantly running behind and trying to play catch up to the standard of a real mom I had playing in my head like a static-filled reel. I want to take that anxious first-time mom, the one who researched what first foods to give her daughter, never let her watch TV and dragged her to a million classes while her husband rolled his eyes, and tell that mom just one thing. Before I go on, I'm a little bit concerned because I kind of miss what her daughter said to us. In fact, I'm missing part of the article. So I'm going to tell you what her daughter asked her, because I'm missing a section, and this lady's daughter came to her and asked her a question that made her stop still and actually think about it. The question was, do you like being a mom? Because it doesn't always seem like it. And boy, I bet that my kids could ask me that question. Woo! So, we're going to go on. So this is what she wants to tell us all. Relax. Please, Mama, just relax. I won't tell her how fast it goes, even though it does. It really does. But I will tell her that everything she thinks matters as a mom doesn't really matter in the long run. It won't matter if she forbids TV until her daughter's 3. She'll still end up loving screens. Quite possibly because she's a human. It won't matter if she doesn't introduce first fruit as food in an attempt to get her kid to love veggies the most, because her kid will end up asking for chicken nuggets 24/7 anyways. It won't matter if her daughter doesn't learn to swim by age 2 or doesn't stick to any organized sport ever, come to think of it. None of it matters. But what will matter is the day that our 8-year-old daughter looks you straight in the eyes and asks you, do you like being a mom? Because it doesn't always seem like it. And you will see the whole world tilt before your eyes as you struggle not to hit the floor right then and there. Because this, after all you've done and sacrificed and worked for, this is what you get? The truth is, the one thing that I had been forgetting to give my children all of this time was a mother who genuinely enjoyed just being a mom. I honestly thought I was doing everything right as a mom, with that whole work-life balance thing, alternating, letting my house go to heck while we did a fun activity and deep cleaning the next day. You know, that whole good moms have dirty dishes thing and whatnot. But what I missed was that it's really not about what you are doing with your kids or not doing. It's about your attitude while you're doing them. My kids could care less if we're cleaning or playing, but they can tell a difference when I'm stressed out. And I am stressed out a lot. I'm ashamed to say that I now know a lot of things I didn't know as a new mom, or even as a mom a month ago, when it took 2 simple sentences from a daughter on the cusp of leaving her childhood forever to make me realize that the one thing my child needs from me is the one thing I was failing to give them. A mom who can realize that she was always enough all along.
Aww, that's so sweet.
How does that make you feel as a first-time mom, Kristen?
Well, it makes me feel good. I don't know. I feel like I do a pretty good job with Kennedy with that, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, I try, you know. But yeah, those things are really important just to make sure that you're enjoying it. And I do sometimes get caught up in the moment of rush, 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 hurry, hurry, hurry. And, you know, I have days like today where you're so busy, but I should have slowed down a little bit, you know.
Well, sometimes you can't slow down, and sometimes you can make it up.
Right.
I think it's what you do on the whole. So we want to encourage you ladies here at Mommy Talk on KidCast
Yes.
to just breathe and enjoy being a mom. Sometimes it is okay. Like if I sit down on the couch with my kids sometimes, like to watch a show, I literally feel guilty, which is stupid. It's ridiculous to feel guilty for like actually settling down and not doing the dishes and not folding the clothes, but just enjoying your kids.
Yeah, that's what's most important, that you need to not feel guilty. You need to spend time with your...
Well, we've got some ladies saying hi. Callie says hi. Kita says first time watching.
Hi,
Kita. Hey, Callie. Hi, Chloe. It's good to hear from you.
Yeah,
I don't know if I'm getting all of our comments, so please feel free to comment in.
Yes, please. We're really happy to have you here with us.
I know.
We hope that you can join us on future Thursdays at 8:30 p.m., like our KidCast page, and you can follow us throughout the week. We have Mercy's House, where we do crafts with kids on Tuesdays and Wednesdays at 11 a.m. And then we have this lovely little show with Christy and I called Mommy Talk,
where we get to connect with other women.
Yes.
Instead of just talking to kids all day long.
Right. And we're doing this as for us and for you and for all moms or just women in general, you know, that need a little bit of time, a place to go to. If you have any concerns or questions that you want to throw out there to us, some issues that we can talk about, we would love to get your information, you know, that you want to talk about. Just send us a comment or send us a message about it. We can put it on our next show. We can research. Like last week we had someone talking about bullying and someone talking about shoplifting, and we have included those in this week's show.
Right. Now we've got a comment from Melissa that says, I always question whether or not I'm enough. I can't give them game systems, tablets, or financial things. I can relate to that, Melissa. And I think the reason that article hit me is because I do struggle with feeling like I'm not enough. I've got 7 kids from the ages of 2 to 22. And I think sometimes I feel like I'm pulled in a lot of directions. I work from home. Sometimes I leave to work. And, you know, a lot of different ages. And I love so much spending time with my kids that sometimes I feel like I'm not giving them the quality time, just hanging out and talking. Like, I mean, talking with my 6-year-old is a hoot. Is it not talking with my 6-year-old?
Yeah. And I think what your child is going to really remember, I don't think your child's going to really look back and think, oh, I didn't have this, I didn't have that. They're going to think, you know, we did not have a lot, but me and my mom was there for me, and we had so much fun.
That's right.
You know, because you think about that as you've gotten older and you look back on your parents, they did what they could for you, you know. They didn't have the best of everything, or maybe they did, you know, just depending on how you grew up. But if you didn't have the best of everything, you knew that your parents tried and that you still loved them. And what you remember the most was the most important were the special quality times that you had together.
I know, really. If you look back at your childhood, I think many of us would just say it was great. I mean, our parents loved us and we knew that they loved us. And I think if we look at our own childhood, I mean, our own children in the same light, and even try to emulate those really great traits from our parents.
Yeah. This is very
because I think sometimes they do get lost. Because I think a generation ago, things were not as important. When I was growing up, things were not as important. They just weren't. Like, I don't remember like having to have the right kind of tennis shoes or Right. Even the name brand clothing, I don't remember like having to have that at all. Right. And so there were other things that were more important. And a lot of that, it was just family time, popcorn time, watching movie
family time, playing outside, doing fun outdoor things.
Right.
I mean, people did a lot more outdoor things.
Exactly.
And instead of buying those tablets and things like that for inside, go outside and play.
Go
play
tag. And buy a ball.
Yeah.
So that's great. Good. All right, so let's see. We've got Melissa has twins who are 13. Let's see here. My twins are 13. Oh, and Mary Beth. Oh my goodness, we just have like lots of twins here. 2-year-old twins, and struggle with giving them each of enough time of my time and attention. My guess is, Mary Beth, you probably are. I mean, I would just like to encourage you because there have been twins throughout the generations.
Yeah.
And they've done okay.
Yeah.
And I bet that you were like really trying. You might have your standard up here.
Yeah, I think so. Don't feel like just play with both of them. I don't think that twins necessarily get. I don't think that they feel. I think that they're more joined. They don't feel that.
They're not
like that competition thing a whole lot.
No, I don't think so.
I don't think so.
No.
I don't think so.
Well, let's move on to what's our next topic, Kristen.
Well, Chloe has asked us if we have a sticker chart recommendations for behavior.
Oh. No, we need one though.
We need one. So if anybody has any sticker chart recommendations for behavior,
message us the link and we will put it in the comments so that you guys can all see it. Because we actually sort of made one for Mercy. Mercy is mine that kind of needs a little bit more. She's 8 with some special needs, and so we do. What?
Chloe actually has twins as well. Does everyone have twins tonight?
It's twins. We don't have twins. We're not the experienced ones with that.
Oh my goodness.
No.
She says she struggles to find time for her eldest because younger ones need me more. Well, that's kind of tough because they're one. The twins are one. So maybe you can just have a talk with her, about the importance of their age and being so young that they're babies and babies really need that love and support, and
always reach out to your family too. I'm friends with some people, multiple people actually, who have twins, and they really do get a lot of support from friends and sisters and parents, and they really come in and let them sleep and so on and so forth. So, but you're doing a good job, Mommy, and that is why we're here.
Yeah.
To tell you that.
Yeah. Good job, Mom. Good job, Mom.
So on that note, I'm going to hit the car seat one. Now the car heat one.
Yes.
So in the whole scheme of the crazy day, I couldn't get to a printer because nothing is working, right? And so I lost that article. So I don't have my recommendations for, at least written down, for car heat. But the reason that this one is important to me is just because I have this sort of incessant fear that one of my children is going to end up in a car. Yeah. And so we've actually taken some extra measures around here. I have teenagers, like, let's see, all 4 of my older driving kids have cars, and they're all parked in the driveway. And then my husband and I each have a car, and then Kristen, who is my 7-year-old's nurse, comes and parks every day. Mm-hmm. Then we've got therapists, so we've got like a parking lot pretty much in our driveway. And not only that, but my husband and my daughters and even my sons will actually take my 2-year-old and my 6-year-old out. And so now that we're in the heat, the very hot time of the year, it's a very big subject. I've read, and I'm sure that you have read articles or seen on the news where, Mom usually takes the kids to daycare and Dad did it that day and he forgot. And he literally went the entire day at work and didn't know, and the child died. So I don't want to get
the saddest story. We don't want to really get into.
I don't want to get really heavy here, but I would like to address some certain things, and hopefully you guys can help us here. So one thing that we do is, and then this might cause moldy cars, and maybe you guys don't want to do this, but we actually crack our windows when we pull into the driveway. So the first thing that we do is we roll our windows down a little bit, at least so that they don't get as hot. Then we lock all the doors, and we make sure that all the doors and all the cars are locked, because otherwise I've got kids that literally would just go out and climb in a car and not even know that, they just, one has very special needs, and if she wants to go to the store, she will walk outside and get in the car. So one of the things in the article that I read was, if you don't know where your child is, first look in every one of your cars, in the trunk, in the back hatch, open up, just run out and open up all of your car doors.
That's a good idea. That's really good.
If you don't know where your child is, do it. And you might have to do it 15 times during the summer, but at least, you know, your child
Safety.
is more protected.
Yeah.
And then they recommend doing things easily, and I thought, I'm going to actually do this. My 2-year-old's car seat is right behind my seat, and we drive a 15-seater, so I can't see her at all.
Right.
I can't see her.
Right.
So if I took her out by myself, like without my 6-year-old, and I do that sometimes, then I have literally no vision, and she falls asleep almost every time we get in the car. So they recommend just moving the car seat to the middle seat or to the other seat so that you can see your child. You can't forget about your child if you can see them.
Yeah.
Somebody else says to put your purse right next to the car seat, or whatever it is that you have to get out of the car, so that you literally have to turn around and get your stuff or walk to the side door so that you don't forget your child. And they say try, if you are out of your normal routine, to take extra precautions. Or if you are giving your children to someone who doesn't usually take your children, to literally like put a huge stuffed teddy bear in the front seat of the car, so that they cannot forget that they've got a child behind them.
Right.
So if anybody else has any...
Oh, wouldn't that just be awful if your child was with someone else?
Yes.
Or something, yeah.
I know.
Yeah, that's just terrible.
It is. So beware, because cars get hot very fast. Just like you don't leave your pets in the car, you don't leave your kids in the car, and you don't leave them in the car.
Not even
for a
like,
moment.
don't turn the car off and run inside for a little bit or something. Because if you get distracted, it takes like 2 minutes maybe for them to like really become delirious. And I mean,
and you know, if it angers whoever's taking your kids, if it's, you know, a friend or so, sometimes people kind of get offended if you give a suggestion.
Yeah.
Do it anyway, or just don't send your kids with them, because your kids are just
too precious. Too precious.
They're just too precious. Okay, so
let's see. I think that Chloe has said check out the Caterpillar reward charts.
All right.
We will check that out.
Reward charts.
Thank you very much for that recommendation. Laura Arrington says if you forget your child, you need more than just some tips to remember they're in the car. Yeah.
I know. Laura, I think what I'm thinking is, for example, when I get home from, you know, a bunch of errands or whatever, and one of my kids climbs out of the car, and I've got this bucket
the
load of
other
stuff.
one is out or something.
You think that your child is out of the car, but if they fell asleep and they didn't climb out of the car, then I know it just sounds kind of crazy that any parent could do that.
But it happens.
But
and,
it happens to the best
And we haven't done it, but
No.
we're just saying to give everybody just awareness that it does happen, and it is very dangerous.
And they're generally speaking not bad parents that do it.
Right.
They're
they just
parents that
forgot,
care.
or they had too much going on, or I don't know.
The fact is you step out of your car for 10 minutes
Yeah.
in the heat of the day in the summertime,
and
that's long enough. So
yeah,
let's be careful.
Yeah.
Protect our sweet, sweet babies.
That's right.
All right, what do you have going on there, Kristen?
Okay, so right now I just wanted to just remind you guys that this is KidCast Mommy Talk with Christy and Kristen, and we are here every Thursday night, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time, and we also have Crafting with Kids on Tuesdays and Wednesdays with Mercy's House, where we do some fun crafts. This week we have done, and last week, Father's Day crafts.
All Father's Day.
Which, you know, we don't always try these out beforehand, so what you see is what you get. Like,
that's right.
And we've done pretty good. I feel like
okay.
they've done pretty well with it. But the kids just really enjoy it, and that's what it's all about.
And I think that we enjoy it. And it's sort of a time that we, you know, because it's a nice scheduled time, then we actually take the time to prepare and get the stuff, and we try to make it easy. We try to make it really easy, because although Kristen is fantastic at crafts, I am completely inept. Is that the right word?
Yeah, you're pretty good though. I mean, she comes up with the ideas and the getting the supplies and stuff.
Google comes up with the ideas, and I go to Walmart.
Well, we put it all together nicely for you, though. We put it all together nicely for you and show you how to do it, so it's easy how-to, step-by-step instructions while talking with us, while, you know, enjoying Mercy and her sisters, Melody and Lily, and we just really have a good time.
Yeah. So that's on Tuesdays and Wednesdays at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. And Thursday nights here, we are at KidCasts. It's facebook.com/KidCasts. And please like our page.
Yeah.
So we've got more coming up. What is it?
Yeah. Okay. So we're going to let you now talk about the rebuttal.
Oh my goodness. It's like all me. Kristen's up next.
Yeah, I'll be next.
So I got really challenged this week.
Yeah.
Kind of embarrassed. But my kids all had to watch the videos, and we had to have this big family discussion about parenting. Like okay, so I have a 2, 6, and 7-year-olds, and then 17, one who just turned 19 yesterday, 20, and 22. Mm-hmm. So the older ones have a lot to say. So there was this viral video that came out, and a lot of you probably watched it, and maybe a lot of you liked it or laughed. It's by Christina Kuzmic, and it was called I'm Not Your Friend, Kid. So I watched it, and she's sitting there, eating ice cream and pouring her wine in her ice cream, and she's kind of got an attitude and seems a little bit mad, and she's really popular, and people like her, and I can see why they like her, but this particular rant just kind of got to me because I thought of my kids, and I was thinking if I went to any one of my kids, from the 2-year-old to the 22-year-old, and told them that I wasn't their friend, honestly, I think it would be completely devastating to them. I literally have pictured it with all my kids.
Well, that's how you've raised your child. Everybody raises their children differently. Some people say to be their friend.
Right. Well, you see,
Some people.
I understand parenting.
Yeah.
But I don't think that parenting has to be outside of friendship. So when I Googled it, the headlines in Google about her rant are, Mom's viral rant explains why you shouldn't be friends with your kids. The next one, Christina Kuzmic tells parents to stop trying to be friends with their kids. Next one, Mom Christina Kuzmic says, I'm not my kid's friend. Mom Christina Kuzmic says she's not her kid's friend. Christina Kuzmic posts rant on not befriending her kids. I'm not your friend, kid. And so I kind of had an issue with that, so I did a little bit of a rebuttal. And on Facebook, people were they were nice about it. Mm-hmm. But my husband posted it on one of our YouTube pages, which I think has mainly kind of political viewers.
Yeah.
And
people were not very happy with her.
They weren't. They said, of course you are not your kids' friends. So I want to know, what are your thoughts? I mean, this is opening up Pandora's box.
It is, and I'm going to tell you guys a personal thing for me. My mom has always said, you can't be both. You're either your friend or you're the parent. You can't be both. And my goal is, I am both. Like, I do both. I am the mom, but I'm also her friend. We're best friends, and I want her to know that she can come to me with anything at any time, but I'm still her mama. There are some boundaries,
right?
Right,
but, exactly.
I mean,
of course, boundaries. Of course, my take on it is that when your child is born, and when they start cooing, and when they are your life, and you are their life, you're their friend, and then they start crawling, and they start talking. Who is their friend through all that?
Right.
It's not usually the neighbor kid.
Right.
I mean, it's mom.
It's mom, right.
And dad and siblings, of course, you're friends.
And so I just want to go right here real quick, just to say that Chloe is from the UK. It's 2 a.m. there.
Hi, Chloe. Thank you for being awake.
Yeah, we're in North Carolina, here in the good old US of A. And we got, let's see, Jamie and Dave from Mason, Ohio.
Yay.
Happy to have you with us, Jamie. And Melissa says to us,
parenting is not always easy.
It's not.
I have to say something. I actually had one of my older kids last night.
If
you're watching right now, just shut it off for a second. Child who had an issue with me last night.
Okay, go ahead.
Well, she wanted to do something that had sort of morphed over the course of time, and in the beginning it was a good thing, and in the end it turned out to be something that I didn't really believe was safe. It wasn't a great idea. And so I had to say, unless we set these proper boundaries for this particular event, you're not going. And she said to me, Mom, I'm not very happy with you right now. Now, I didn't say you're not my friend. Because it hurts me.
Yeah.
But it's also, Yeah.
All right. Well, we really appreciate everybody joining us. Again, this is Christy and I'm Kristen.
Yeah.
This is Mommy Talk from KidCast page. Please like us and follow us.
Yeah,
and
please.
You'll see us during the week or Thursday nights at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time.
Yeah. So we got a comment from Laura. She says, I feel it's important that your kids know they can come to you and talk to you about important things. There has to be some sort of bond, at least, if you refuse to call it a friendship, to where your child knows they can come to you and have fun with you and trust you and your opinion. And that sounds like friendship to me. I agree, Laura, seriously. Of course, like you said, there has to be a balance between the two, and the child needs to know the boundaries of the rules.
You can always came upon a topic of bullying, which is, I feel like this whole show is like kind of Debbie Downers, but we're not trying to be that way. I guess we're just kind of trying to get the word out there and kind of focus on issues that are important to mom. That's what we're trying to do.
And they don't always have to be downers, but it seems that some people who are participating in the show and watching us have these issues going on.
Yeah, and we want to be there. That's what we're here for.
Yeah, and before Kristen goes on, I just want to say one thing.
Yeah.
Like, we don't judge you. We don't. Like, we have, I have had kids who have done things when they're little. I thought, my kids will never do that. And they grow up and they're their own people. You raise them, you love them, you friend them, you parent them, you set boundaries, but let me tell you,
those kind of situations, teacher of our school, but
everything.
But that's just, I just wanted to talk about that for just a second. How bullying can be really hard for parents of the bullied children, and even of the bulliers. It's tough for everybody. But I just want to kind of focus on this for a minute. I guess I'll throw that on the floor.
Yeah.
All right, so the definition of bullying. Bullying is unwanted aggressive behavior among school-aged children that involves a real or perceived power imbalance. And in order to be considered bullying, the behavior must be aggressive and include an imbalance of power, such as physical strength, access to embarrassing information or popularity to control or harm others, and repetition. So it happens over and over again. Types of bullying, and these are to your children at school, okay? This is sad that this happens, but
it does
this happens to anywhere between 20 and 30% of children. I think that I read that up to 40% would not even tell anybody that it even happened.
Because they're too embarrassed, because the bully does mind games.
Right.
And then they are afraid to say anything, or they're ashamed to say anything to anybody. Mm-hmm. And so they carry it within them, and then they have a difficult time reaching their full potential because, they feel bad about themselves and they're afraid of the bully. So what can we do? I want to know.
Okay, so as parents can play a key role in preventing and responding to bullying. You want to recognize the warning signs. Warning signs would be like unexplainable injuries, lost or destroyed clothing, frequent headaches or stomach aches, feeling sick or faking an illness, changes in eating habits, difficulty sleeping, declining grades, loss of interest in school or not wanting to go to school. Mm-hmm. Let's see, some loss of friends, feeling helpless, or self-destructive behaviors. Let's see, and kids sometimes don't ask for help because they may feel like they want to gain that control again, and they may want to try to handle it on their own. They also may fear the backlash from the kid who bullied them. It can be a humiliating experience, so the kids don't want to talk about it. They may feel like no one cares or could even understand what they're going through. They may fear being rejected by their peers. Let's see.
So what do parents do?
Well, that's kind of what I'm kind of just going through. This website that is really important for parents of children that are being bullied is called Stopbullying.gov, and there are actually laws in place in your state. If you'll go to that website, you can click on the map of the United States, and you can click on your state that you live in, and it will give you a list of the laws and that kind of thing. So another thing that's important is the cyberbullying. You can be aware of what your kids are doing online. This will help. Know the sites that your kids visit. Tell your kids that you're a responsible parent. You may review their online communications. Right. Have a sense of what they do online and in text. Here's a little bit much for me, but ask for their passwords. You could always do that. Or ask to friend or follow them. But encourage your children to tell you immediately if they or someone that they know is being bullied. Let's see, immediately Don't respond. So if in fact you see some cyberbullying through, the internet, social media, stuff like that, don't respond to the messages. Just keep evidence of it and block the person immediately. Then you want to report to the social media provider that you're using. And then if it becomes worse, like threats of violence or pornography or, things like that, taking a photo or video of someone in a place where he or she would expect privacy, or stalking and hate crimes, you definitely want to contact your local law enforcement on that.
Right.
It's really become a very serious thing, and for them to put laws in place, you need to really take advantage of that. And if your child is being bullied, you need to, I have some steps for you in just a second, and I'll tell you exactly what you need to do. But you want to talk to your child about it. You want to encourage the kids to speak to a trusted adult, that they know, just to kind of get it out there. And then kind of talk about how to stand up to kids that bully. You can give tips like using humor and saying stop directly and being very confident about it. And then talk about what to do if they don't work, like walk away. Make sure you walk away. Make sure they walk to a teacher or somebody, and always tell what's going on. Also talk with them about strategies for staying safe, as staying near adults, or in groups of people, which is important. And also urge them to help other kids that are being bullied, as to be nice to them and to help them and to tell a teacher or somebody.
I think that there's a problem there because two things. One, I think that kids are afraid to tell a teacher because I think a lot of teachers brush it off. And I don't remember what the statistic is, but I was reading this evening. There's a very large percentage of teachers who literally do just brush it off and ignore it. So I think it's a little bit difficult because sometimes, I found a list, which we'll go back to your list in just a second, but I found a list that gives parents very proactive things to do, where it basically says, parents, you take care of it. Tell your child what to do, but you step in immediately. Go to the principal, go to the school.
Yeah, I've got all that on here. So, but she's gonna, if you'll get that website, and we can post it on our page.
I will post it.
I know that we're freezing up. We're trying to. I guess I don't know if we've lost connection, but we are trying.
Yeah, I think that we've frozen. I think our internet might be slow tonight. I think that's kind of our issue.
I wonder if anybody's on.
Oh my goodness!
When do you run check? You want to run check?
Yeah.
And I'll just continue talking. Okay.
I forgot to kick everybody.
Okay, so I'll just continue talking here. So you want to keep the lines of communication open with your child. So simple ways that parents and caregivers can keep up to date with their kids' lives. Read class newsletters and school flyers. Check the school website. Go to school events. Greet the bus driver. Meet teachers and counselors. And share phone numbers with other kids' parents. Also, another thing you can do is encourage kids to do what they love. Get them involved in, camp or anything like that. Something that they love to do where they can share that camaraderie and that friendship with other people that love to do what they do, which will boost their self-esteem and give them a lot of confidence. So how parents and youth can contribute. Students can contribute their views and experiences with bullying. They can take leadership roles in school to promote respect and inclusion, because it is cool to be nice to people, okay? Let me tell you. Also, parents can contribute to a positive school climate through the Parent-Teacher Association, volunteering, and school improvement events. There's also a thing called school safety committees, where administrators, teachers, school staff, parents, students can come together to plan bullying prevention and intervention programs. So if your school doesn't have that, there you go. Start one up. You want to support the kids that are bullied. Listen and focus on the child. Assure the child that the bullying is not their fault. Again, this is Stopbullying.gov, and we are Christy and Kristen, and this is Mommy Talk from KidCast. You can like our page and follow us and watch us on Thursday nights at 8:30 p.m. Give advice about what to do. Work together to resolve the situation. You can always check out this website to get more in-depth information.
Yeah, I think the whole point of it is be proactive. Because if you're not proactive, if they, let's say that you go to the teacher and you don't get anywhere, go to the principal right away. And if you don't get
right, well, that's what I'm about to get there. I'm about to get that. That's okay. Go ahead. So, never tell the child to ignore the bullying, and don't blame the child for being bullied. And don't ever tell the child to fight back physically, and resist the urge to contact the other child's parents. We don't want to get into all that.
Right.
Okay.
They said that can actually cause more danger if you do that. So take other measures.
Yes, we don't want to do that.
Right.
So if a child is being bullied in school, you contact the teacher, and then the school counselor, the school principal, the school superintendent, and the State Department of Education. Just do it all.
Right.
And if the school is not adequately addressing the harassment, then you contact the school superintendent, the State Department of Education, the U.S. Department of Education, and the U.S. Department of Justice.
Yeah, we have had 2 moms so far say, my kids are bullied, and there's nothing I've been able to do about it. And that is just sad. That
really
whoever
is.
you've gone to, I mean, it's just devastating and detrimental to their entire growing up time period and their lives. They're in a very formative time of their life. So
they are. It's very sad.
We're going to post this list because you need to see it.
Yeah, those are the steps that you need to take. And
Do
take
it,
them all.
Mom.
Do them all,
Do it.
Mom. Do them all.
If your kids are being bullied, do it.
Well, no child wants their child to be, no parent wants their child to be bullied, you know?
No.
I
know that you can feel like hopeless and helpless and very saddened, but
you got to be persistent.
Be that parent.
Be that parent. Be persistent, you know?
Yeah.
And then follow up on it. Make sure they're doing something about it, right?
Oh my goodness, listen to this. So one of our friends, well, you posted it publicly, so we'll say it. Melissa says, I do believe it, Melissa. She says, believe it or not, some faculty are bullies in their own way. I believe that because I know adults who are bullies, and you know what? They were probably bullies when they were kids too. I don't think that people grow up and all of a sudden they become a bully. So it's something that they've probably been doing for a while. Melissa says, the assistant principal where my girls go to school said she knows that all 12-year-olds are liars. She knows because she has a 12-year-old. I am very sorry, Melissa. Wow. She says that where her kids go to school, they're supposed to fill out bullying reports so it's documented. Melissa, now that we know that you're dealing with this, we're going to ask you. We are going to ask you who you went to the next time, because really, if your kids are being bullied, just do it.
Take that next step.
Just
go for it. Go for it.
You'll feel so much better. You really will.
Fill out bullying reports, but nothing is ever done. That's what she says that they do. That's just
not okay.
The bullying reports, like that's just that's ridiculous.
Is anybody else here dealing with bullying?
I mean, it's
wow.
If you are, just please comment in. Let's talk about it.
I know we're not getting as many comments. Are we boring tonight?
No, I think we've lost a lot of people.
Oh no!
Through our connection.
Pausing.
Yeah.
Oh man.
So, anyways, for those of you that are still with us, thank you very much for being here with us. We really appreciate you, and we want to, take this time right now to just say, "Good job, Mom. We appreciate you, and we're happy that you're here with us, and we want you to join us every Thursday at 8:30 p.m. so we can have this talk. If there's anything specific that's bothering you or that you want to talk about, a hot topic or controversial topic, anything, we're not non-judgmental, middle of the road, pretty much, and we will just discuss whatever you want to talk about. So we appreciate everybody being here with us.
We do, and I'd like to ask you to share it. If you're enjoying spending time with us, then I'd like to ask you just to share our post, and then your friends can join in too.
Yeah.
We will have different topics every week. Not to say that we're done, but we're almost done for the evening.
Yep. Did you want to talk about the shoplifting?
Oh, whoops. Another heavy topic, but we will make it quick.
Next week will be fun and light.
Yeah, next week we're going to be rainbows and butterflies all over the place. But, the reason that we're having these discussions is because parents have expressed that they're dealing with it in their own lives with their own kids. And let me tell you, I've dealt with a lot of pretty significant issues with my own kids. And like I said before, you don't think that these things are going to happen.
Right.
A lot of parents are dealing with things like bullying. They're dealing with their kids making poor decisions. They're dealing with their kids sneaking out of the house at night, listening to trashy music, doing drugs. They're doing things that when they were younger, they thought, oh, my kids are never going to go out and do this. They're going to love me forever and be at home forever. And all of a sudden, there's this thing going on that you're not sure how to deal with. So once again, you are, oh wow, we got another one. We're on KidCasts. We are on Facebook.com/KidCasts. And we would be thrilled if you like our live stream and if you like our page.
Rajaswari with communication. She's 3 years old and she still talks 1 or 2 words, not sentences. Okay, I don't really know a whole lot about that, but we are going to do some research on that, and we will put that in our next week's show.
Yeah.
But I do know for a fact that all children develop at their own pace.
They do.
They all talk. We all talk, right? So they eventually talk. They all go pee-pee and poo-poo on the potty at one point, you know. So it all happens. It just kind of can be at their own pace. And I'm not an expert on it, but we will definitely throw that into our next show. If you will just watch us next week, you know, we'll be more than happy to talk about that.
For a quick comment, what I would say is, don't worry about it, because worrying isn't going to make her talk better or anything else. That's not something that is going to, you know, put her life in jeopardy or anything.
Right.
So love her, talk to her, read her lots of books, and, you know, if you do like screen time, play with things with words where, like, Peekaboo Barn, where they have to say the animal sounds, or, you know, anything, or where you can point to things in books and say goat and see if she'll follow back. But there are also always professionals that you can go to speech therapists.
Yep.
I've had to have a couple of speech therapists for my kids. So they don't always speak early, and they don't always speak clearly.
Yeah, they don't. And you know, no matter what you do, sometimes even you might not get any good results. Some children will go a few years without talking at all, and then all of a sudden, blah, 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 you know, they're speaking in full sentences, and where was this at all this whole time? They were listening, taking in all the information, they just didn't put it out there verbally, they didn't verbalize it yet, so this could be, you know, an option there, so, yeah.
I wouldn't worry, though.
Yeah, don't worry.
Yeah, but you
Please
could
don't worry,
look into speech therapists, because it's, you know, next time
we will research this a little bit more.
We will, and we'll get some more facts on developmental milestones, so that, you know, we know what's really appropriate and what isn't. Like, we should know, but we don't. So,
like, I definitely should know, because I'm a nurse.
She's a nurse, and we're both moms, so we should know.
Yeah.
So we've got our next subject, which is one of those really hard ones, which is shoplifting. And I know a lot of us would like to.
Oh, thank you. Love from India.
Hey.
We'll surely stay tuned. We appreciate that. We'll see you next week.
Next week at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time.
Yep.
I don't know what time it is in India, but it's not 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Big brain this time of night. So we're going to talk about shoplifting, and I hope that none of your kids have ever shoplifted. Well, actually, somebody's kid has, because they've requested this topic.
Yes.
And causes and consequences. So I read through quite a few articles, and I won't say who I know who shoplifted, but I know somebody who has. And a teenager, and, you know, it's, you wonder, like, you came from a good home, you guys have money, like, what are you doing shoplifting? So there's a lot of different reasons, and I'll give you a sample, and then, you know, if you've got kids who are, say, like 8 and up, you know, these kinds of things can happen. It says, shortly after 17-year-old Terry moved to Colorado Springs, her new friends urged her to skip choir practice and come to the mall. We started trying on clothes at this one store, and someone suggested we take them, she says. So I shoved a $10 belt in my bag. As she walked toward the exit, her cell phone rang. It was my mom asking if I wanted to go out to dinner, says Terry. At that moment, store security surrounded the teens. I have to go, Terry told her mom. I think I'm being arrested. The hours that followed were a nightmare. They escorted us into the security room to wait for the police, says Terry. I was officially charged with taking $75 worth of stuff, the amount all of us stole, even though my item was only $10. The worst was when my mom arrived. She kept saying I'd never do such a thing, and they were like, listen, lady, we have it on tape. I finally had to say, no, Mom, it's true. I did it. So some of the facts about shoplifting for kids and for teens is, young minds, no breaks. You always want to understand why your kids are stealing, and you can't always figure that out unless they actually tell you. So a lot of the reasons that they would do it is either they, like this girl in the story that we just read, it was thrown at her. She never thought about it. She never would have done it. somebody said, let's do it in this thing of thrill. And she thought, oh my goodness, I could get this belt and I don't have the money for it. And she just did it. So it was that I didn't even think about it factor.
Then could be the pressure,
right?
As well.
Peer pressure, right? And then you've got the thrills, and this one says minor thrills have major repercussions. And so it says if an explanation for the bad behavior is hard to nail down, what happens in a teen's head or doesn't is simpler to decode. 72% of teens say they didn't plan to take anything. Most of these crimes aren't premeditated. Instead, impulse combined with other teens, or with teens' general lack of judgment. Remember that, guys.
Yeah.
Your teens, I hate to even say that, but I know from my own teens that they can clearly tell me something. Like, I know stealing is wrong, or I would never do that, Mom, about anything at all. And then later, I'm like, what was going through your head? Like, what would make you do this particular thing at this particular time?
Right.
Do you know what they say? I don't know.
Yeah.
It just kind of happens. So-and-so was doing it.
Right.
Why were you driving 90 miles an hour in a 40-mile? Why? I don't know. It just seemed like the thing to do at the time. Teens have a general lack of judgment. And it can just take over at any given time. Sometimes they're totally all there. Other times, they're not. And I think a lot of times when they're not is either if they're going through a depressed time, a stressed time, or they're out with their friends, and their friends happen to be either wilder or make more poor decisions than your child does.
Yeah, peers have a huge influence on teenagers,
Yeah, and this says, and when summer comes, here we are, summertime, with less structure and supervision, there's an even greater chance of this knee-jerking stealing. The courts and the police tell me that when kids have a lot of free time, it increases the likelihood they'll get in trouble. So that's probably something that we need to cover is when your kids are old enough to be somewhat on their own, how do we structure their time when they're not in school? So anyway, this says, as far as shoplifting goes, it's a greater problem than ever, driven up by high teen unemployment and tighter family budgets, because the times have been tough lately.
Yeah.
I know that for sure. A leading industry study found that 61% of stores have seen a jump in what they call amateur or opportunistic theft. So they cover a couple things like, one is stealing bubble gum, the same as stealing makeup, is the same as stealing DVDs, is the same as stealing a car. Yes. If they're willing to steal gum, it can just escalate.
Yeah.
So they have a tendency to think, not a big deal. But I can tell you one thing that I think helps a little bit when they're young, and I think every parent has done this at some point in time, maybe, or most parents. You've got a kid in a shopping cart or walking next to you, and you get to the checkout and you don't realize that they have snatched something along the way.
Oh, yeah.
And you get in the car, and all of a sudden, they've got this little dinosaur figurine in their hand.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh my goodness. And you think, well, we didn't get caught, so I can either drive home or I can get all my kids back out of the car and march Johnny back into the store and have Johnny walk up to the cash register or to the customer service and say, I didn't pay for this dinosaur. I'm so sorry. I need to take it back. I think I remember that episode with, I think it might have been gum with one of my kids. There are other times when it was an accident. But we're talking a little, like we're talking 3 years old, 4 years old. And that's really when they learn.
Yeah. I would, personally, we would go back in. We would take it back in.
Yeah. So they've got a prevention plan here. Teach on the spot. When you're in a store with your child, occasionally point out the many ways, cameras, magnet tags, security guards, that the facility keeps an eye on everyone. Mention that stealing is not only wrong, but people who take things can be arrested, banned from stores and malls, have their picture displayed in public, and be sent to court and sometimes even to jail. Focus on the victims. Kids often think, what's the big deal? You know, this big store can pay for it. No, there are victims, and so you can talk about that. Monitor their stuff. keep up with day-to-day changes. If you start seeing things accumulating in your
Yeah,
child's
like all these new
bedroom or
clothes
car,
and
yeah, you really need to check up on that. And I'm
Yeah.
not saying to accuse your child. Don't accuse your children. But this is just all a part of parenting and being a friend.
Yeah.
Because you would do that with your friends. And then talk about your values. It's really important to talk about your values. If you believe that stealing is wrong, it's important that they know. And not only that it's wrong to steal in a store, but it's wrong to steal from your parents.
Yeah.
I found so many articles about what you do when you've got a child in your home that's stealing from family members. So this is, that's just a whole other topic, but it's, it starts with this, shoplifting is a sign of deeper problems. And what do? Your kid shoplifted, what now? Ask what happens next. Find out if your child will be charged. I have to be honest. I'm the mom that says, if you get arrested, I'm not coming to get you. I know it sounds bad, but my thought on the matter is, if you had a lapse in judgment and you were old enough to go to jail, then you were old enough to have made that wise decision. So make wise decisions.
That's right.
Hold off, but you can do what you want. That's just me. Seriously, I'm not gonna judge you on that one. I
let us know what you would do.
I know. I want to know what you do. I just happen to think that if we don't allow our kids to have consequences from the time that they're young, natural consequences to their behavior or forced consequences to their behavior, then they will continue to break proper boundaries.
Yeah, and then they'll become teenagers that shoplift.
We don't want that. Yeah, it's just so hard to deal with stuff like that.
It really is. It's
right.
too much.
So
start when they're young.
Yeah, hold off on reacting. Discuss trust. When you're ready to talk, let your teen know that they have lost your trust and that they have to earn it back. They need to hear how disappointed you are. They can't think, oh, mommy loves you anyway, no matter what you do. Well, you do. But they need to know that there is a trust factor that they have just violated. So.
And this is when you are not the friend, you are the mommy.
Well, friends do this, though. I mean, seriously, Kristen is my friend. And if Kristen shoplifted, I would have to tell you that I would probably take these same steps and tell her, this is not appropriate.
Right.
What were you thinking?
Right. Well, I'm saying like for your child as far as the friend or
Right. This isn't time to say it's okay, honey.
Yeah. That's all right.
We forgive you. Yeah. I mean, you could say that, but maintain perspective. Make sure that your teen understands the law. A lot of times they don't.
Yeah.
Trespassing, shoplifting, underage drinking. Let me tell you, because so many kids do it, it seems like they think it's hazy. But it's not.
Yeah.
It's not hazy.
Yeah. Let them know the actual consequences,
right.
like by law.
That there are.
That could happen to them.
Yeah.
Okay. So did we get this finished up here, Christy?
Yeah, we did.
Okay. So we have a lot of people commenting.
Okay.
Caitlin Kirby said, "Just tuning in. What about 4-year-olds who refuse to listen?" This is another great topic.
How old? I missed the age.
4 years old. Who refuse to listen.
Hard.
I have a almost 3-year-old that refuses to listen, so I'm there with you. We really don't have time to go through all of this, but we are going to talk about this next week. We'll talk about the milestones, and then we will talk about behavior.
So we're going to hit younger kids next time. I think this time we really hit older kids a lot.
We did. So we'll go in younger next week.
We're going to go into, like 0 to 6, and really hit that young age of. Yeah. What do you do when they refuse to eat their supper? Oh my goodness, I deal with that.
Yeah, and then we have Bethy Haunts, who says, my daughter's a 7-year-old with crazy mood swings. She brings up things that happened weeks ago, starts crying, then she's normal, happy the next. Any advice? Any advice on that?
I sort of missed it. I hate to say that because I was reading Angela's about her 14-year-old daughter throwing temper tantrums like a 6-year-old.
Oh my goodness.
Until you read it, like all dealing with this, it's hormones.
Lies all the time and tries to kick me. Had to Baker Act her a few weeks
I don't even know what. And Becky asks, "What's Baker Act?" I don't know what Baker Act is. Grounded her for misbehaving. She threatened to hurt herself. I've dealt a little bit with kids. A kid hurting himself, and
Well, okay, so we will focus on behavior. Yeah, I mean, we will definitely do some focusing on behavior next week because We have a lot to say, a lot that we want to talk about. We just don't have time for that right now.
Yeah,
But we will definitely just join us next week.
Yeah, we'll find some resources as well, because sometimes, you know, you do actually have to reach out to some resources. If you have a child who is hurting you either sporadically or on a regular basis, and they're like older than like 6 years old, then that is definitely something that you need to deal with, even if they are 6 years old.
Yeah.
I mean, you could expect a 2-year-old maybe to kick you, but your reaction should be so strong that they really do not want to ever kick you again.
Right.
Because it hurts mommy, and you know, they get a little bit of discipline.
Right. And if you don't start that at a younger age, then it's just going to continue. And a lot of times children...
Can I say something though, based off of that? I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No.
Even in the best of circumstances, with the best of parents who have set boundaries, they might have spanked, they might have done time out, they might have, you know, been super encouraging and set boundaries.
It still happens.
You can still end up with a teenager that just totally goes their own way. They could literally very easily just get hooked up with the wrong group of friends in youth group. Yeah. It happens in youth group, in school, at the mall. They can hook up with friends. I mean, these things happen, and you wonder, like, where did my child go that I used to snuggle and sit on the couch with, and they'd say, I will always love you, Mommy. I don't know why people do drugs. I don't know why people steal. And then 6 years later, you're wondering. So sometimes you need outside help, and we're going to look up some of those sources.
Yeah, we definitely will. Well, we appreciate you all joining us. Thank you for being here. Again, like us on our KidCast page.
But I haven't embarrassed the daylights out of her yet, so don't leave.
Yeah, don't leave. She's going to embarrass me now. Woohoo! Woo! So, yeah, we do this every week. We kind of just go through this, and we're doing some, you know, we're just going to say, good job, Mom. You're doing a great job, you know. If you are taking care of your children and they are being fed and they're getting love and support, you know, you're doing a great job. Nobody's perfect. You know, you just do what you can do and do the best you can do.
Right.
And you be the best mom you can be. And we're here to support you. We talk about different topics, weight loss. We talk about the bullying, which is very hard on the family. We talk about the shoplifting, or, you know, safety tips, all different kinds of things. Next week we'll be talking about behavior and different milestones for children of younger ages. And so we just would like you to join us. Again, like our page, follow us, and join us again next week.
Right.
And
so,
now...
Well, hold on. So if you're not on KidCasts, and thank you, Quirky Mama. A lot of people are watching on Quirky Mama, and we appreciate her sharing.
Thanks.
We love her.
Well, you get that set up motherhood thing that I was talking about. Just another quote from Donna Ball. It says, motherhood is a choice you make every day to put someone else's happiness and well-being ahead of your own, to teach the hard lessons, to do the right thing even when you're not sure what the right thing is, and to forgive yourself over and over again for doing everything wrong. You know? I mean, you
completely
because
you motherhood.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
And there you go. And we'll leave you with that.
Before Kristen does her funny thing, I've got to say, along the lines of that quote, there's a movie. If you haven't seen it, I love it. It has become one of my favorite movies. It's hilarious. So if you want to laugh, watch it. It is called Mom's Night Out.
Oh yeah.
Did you watch it?
I did. That's pretty good.
Yeah, it's got a message. It's got a clear message, and you don't really know what the message is till the end because you're so busy relating to this poor mother and feeling what she's feeling and laughing your head off at her. And in the end, you realize, I can't tell you what you realize. So it's Mom's Night Out. I don't know where to find it. Netflix, Amazon, someplace like that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Kristen.
Yes.
This is our crazy moment with Kristen, and I didn't have as much time to prepare, so this dirty spoon is... It's your microphone.
Oh, no.
Right. But you got to stay sitting, or I'm going to have to go pick that camera up. So
okay, I'll stay sitting.
I'm going to move over a little bit, and so I'm going to get to my stopwatch on my clock right now, and we're going to see just what's up with Kristen. Let's see. All right. Kristen has 30 seconds to be a newscaster.
Oh, no.
And I'm going to give her the topic. So recently, there has been this swarm of millions of ladybugs across the country.
Oh, no, I'm so
And they are getting ready to hit our area. and you have to talk for 30 seconds straight. You're a newscaster. You need to introduce yourself, and you need to give us a very firm report about the attack of the ladybugs.
Okay.
Go.
Hi, this is Kristen coming to you live from, oh, watch out. Wait, everybody, what was that? It's the ladybugs. The ladybugs are coming. Everybody take cover. Get into the middle of your house. Lock the doors. Get into the bathtubs. Pull the mattresses over you. The ladybugs are coming. Please. Oh, wait, I hear them. They're coming in. I gotta go. Please, hide yourselves.
You're still on air. You're still on air. She didn't finish though. You get 2 next week. She gets 2 next week because she was 4 seconds short. That was great. Yay for Kristen. You gotta keep her moving like that. See, it keeps her brain going. So thank you for joining us. Join us again next week. Like our KidCast page. Laugh at Kristen. Laugh at yourself.
Yeah. Thank you for joining us. We love you all. We'll see you next week.